empty classrooms being disinfected in Wuhan, China, where the coronavirus pandemic began. It's estimated that globally 1.5 billion children are missing school. Human Rights Watch says the outbreak is having myriad impacts on young people.
More and more children are going to be left without parents. And we've seen from the Ebola crisis, for example, the HIV epidemic in sub-Saharan Africa, that when children are orphaned, they become much more vulnerable to sex trafficking, to child labor, and other forms of exploitation.
A recent report from the International Labour Organization warned 200 million people could lose their jobs as a result of the pandemic.
As parents lose their employment, especially in developing countries, we often see more and more children pushed into child labor to try and help families just meet their basic needs. And correspondingly, there's also a trend towards early and child marriage, with girls feeling the pressure to marry to get out of the house and relieve the pressure on their parents.
It is the most vulnerable who feel the effects first. These children live on the streets of Dakar, Senegal. Life is getting even tougher under lockdown.
Before the coronavirus, we were asking for food from people. But with the disease, everyone started to be worried and to take safety measures. They stopped giving us food.
In rich countries, poorer children are missing out on school lunches, often their one big meal of the day. This was the line recently outside a school in New York, which has begun serving food to all members of the local community.
It's a bit tough right now, considering we don't really have work to get food. So we have to make do what we have.
With the country in lockdown, activists in Russia report a big spike in domestic violence, a pattern repeated in many countries around the world.
As parents become anxious about their health, about their finances, about their jobs, and tensions rise as people are sort of together 24/7, the risk of violence really escalates.
There are also concerns that children are missing out on vital immunization programs as health systems prioritize coronavirus patients. Human Rights Watch is urging governments to put children at the center of their coronavirus response policies, with greater efforts to expand access to education and to provide economic assistance to vulnerable families. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.